So, as you may or may not know, little tampon Tim, or as I like to call him, Tim the Grizzly Bear Walz. And the reason I call him that is because apparently he's trying to remake his image as a real man's man, an image of masculinity, and, just everyday tough guy. Well, I got to be honest with you. When I think of real men, when I think of tough guys, there's absolutely not one person in the Democrat Party that fits the bill. I mean, are we going to pick Adam Schiff? I got to be honest. Half the times I'm not sure if he's a little girl or a little boy. Are we going to pick Gavin Newsom? Gavin's so worried about what his hair looks like, he wouldn't dare get into a fight with anybody because he would be like I think it was John Travolta or something where they're going to fight in maybe Greece and they're like, whoa, don't touch the hair, don't touch the hair. That would be Gavin Newsom, greasy Gavin Newsom. So Tim Walz comes out and says, that pretty much he's a man's man and, trying to puff his chest up a little bit. And he says that he could pretty much kick the ass of most Trump supporters. Well, I got to tell you, Tim Grizzly Bear Walz, I would put you in a ring against my daughter, and I would lay all my odds on my daughter. I don't think you could take her down. I mean, especially after I watched a video where you talking about, your beloved shotgun that you've had for years, that you've killed pretty much everything that walks with, and you don't even know how to load it. That was pretty much embarrassing, not only for you, but for all men alive. And then for you to come out and make a statement like this as if you could actually do anything against a real man is pretty damn brazen to say the least. So who steps up except, one of our mayors here in the great state of Tennessee? I don't know if you remember him or not from WWE fame. That would be Kane. Kane steps up, who stands at 7 feet 1 inch tall, 7 feet 2 inches tall. And the guy was like over 300 pounds when he wrestled. Kane steps up and says, hey, Tampon Tim, if you can beat most Trump supporters' asses, why don't you put your money where your mouth is? Why don't you and I jump in a wrestling cage and we'll donate all the money to your favorite charity? But I think we need to do that because if you're going to make such a broad statement, such a bold statement, being the wee little man that you are, this is one way to redeem yourself. What do you want to do? Now, of course, he throws the challenge out there. And what does Tim Grizzly Bear Walz do? Nothing. Pretty much what a liberal would do at this point. Nothing. No response. Not one that I can find. And Kane is not backing down. He has come out again a second time and said, hey, Tampon Tim, let's do this. If you're going to talk such a big talk, let's do this. Let's jump in a cage. Whatever charity, we'll give it to charity. Let's jump in a cage and let's smack each other down. And again, guess what we get from little Timmy Walz? Absolutely nothing. Because Tim Walz is a coward. He's a sissy boy. Tim Walz is not a man. There's nothing manly about him. Whatever manhood he had, he surrendered to Kamala Harris. And especially during the campaign when they were doing the white dudes for Kamala or whatever the shit, all that absolutely cornball, idiotic campaign was that they had going on, which was, let's be honest, as everybody knows, was literally the worst presidential run campaign I've ever seen in my life, was Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And whatever balls Tim Walz had, he put them in Kamala Harris's purse and he let her snap them closed. And I guarantee if you look in Cammie's purse today, Tim Walz's little nuggets are still floating around in there. Granted, they're probably very small, dried up, and shriveled at this point, but they're still in there. Because Tim Walz sure as hell doesn't have any balls to do anything. Because if Tim Walz wants to make a statement, if I come out and I take, Conor McGregor, and I say, Conor McGregor, you're a little sissy boy, let's fight. I bet your ass Conor McGregor would be on the phone calling me and saying, all right, let's do this, but I am not that stupid, now, and I am a martial artist. I spent years doing it, but I'm going to tell you right now, Conor McGregor is a bad son of a bitch. I'm not calling out Conor McGregor ever, but I would call out Tim Walz. But Conor McGregor, if he was to come out and say, you know what, I can beat every Democrat's ass in the world. I got to tell you, I don't think one Democrat would call Conor McGregor and say, hey, let's do this. I think they would think, you know what? He's right. He could beat every Democrat's ass in the world, and I think they would let it go. So for Tim Walz to come out and make a statement that he could beat most Trump supporters' ass, and then for somebody to step right up instantly right afterwards and say, hey, you can beat my ass, challenge is on. Let's do this. And for Tim Walz to come back and make no comment whatsoever about any of it. is absolutely embarrassing for Tim Walz and the Democrat Party. And maybe it's time that the Democrats finally step up and get some men on their side, because God knows they're hurting when it comes to male testosterone in the Democrat Party. Unless you count AOC.